I'm Leah. This is Yin. Again, grab props if you have not grabbed props. So blankets, towels, bolsters, long sleeve t-shirts, belts, anything that's helpful. And as normal, as I always say, I want you to start comfortable. So that could be seated for today, could be laying down. Okay, I can't see you, so just trust that I trust you to know when you're comfortable. Use props, maybe a pillow or blanket under the knees, something under the hips. Allow the chest to open. In times of stress, we naturally start to close the front of the heart space, which gives the back of the heart space opening, but it kind of makes us close off. And what we really need now is to be opening, giving. So again, this is a practice of giving and receiving, opening the vulnerable places. If you haven't already, let the eyes close and acknowledge the mind. Say, hi mind, I hear you. I know it's busy in there, and that's okay. And wherever you are, whatever you hear in the space that you're in, just begin to label it. Give it a name. Obvious things like my voice, maybe the soft music in the background that you hear along with my audio. But what else is going on in the room you're in? You can start with the real obvious things, the big sounds. And then as if you're turning up the dial, what else can you hear? And now, what don't you hear, but what can you anticipate hearing? What might happen in the space you're in? If there's other live beings, animals, or children, or adults in the same space as you, what kind of noise might they make? Maybe noises from outside the house, from different parts of the house. Acknowledging that those things will probably happen, and that's okay. The state of meditation, of mindfulness that we're going to be in doesn't mean blocking those things out. It means finding our peace involving all of those things, because that's life. You know, life is everything. Life is a buffet. But it's not the kind of buffet where you get to pick and choose the things you want. It's the kind where you have to try a bite of everything. So let it all be here. And even let that bring a smile to your face, knowing that it may not be perfect, but it's going to be perfect for right now. Noticing the breath. How does it feel in the body? Does it feel easy? Maybe a little more challenging? Especially if you've had a lot of anxiety about things going on recently. And if it does feel a little hard, if the chest feels a little weighted, place a hand over the space where the breath feels like there's maybe a blockage, a little bit of confinement. It can be the belly, the chest, even the throat. And then send extra compassion and love there, mindfulness. And then breathe into the hand. And notice a little extra space, a little extra expansion there. And then be amazed with yourself that just with your mind, you can overcome those obstacles. Notice if there is a naturally rising intention for your practice. It took all of you effort to sign into class. So you had an intention. There's a reason you came. What is it? It doesn't matter what it is, just notice, honor it, and notice if there's some way that you'd like to feel during class or maybe after class as a result of your practice. Maybe calmer, more at ease. And now I'd like you to speak to yourself, affirming that intention as if it's already true. I am relaxed. I am calmer. I am at ease. Because again, you have a lot of power in your mind. With the eyes closed, let the pelvis get a little bit heavier with the exhale. You can imagine your entire pelvic bowl like a fish bowl. And that fish bowl is sitting on sand. With each exhale, that fish bowl sinks into the sand just a little bit deeper. And that's you, rooting down into the earth. And as you root down through the sit bones, through the pelvis and the legs, can you feel a lightness of the heart space? The top of the head, feeling a little more length, a little more space for breath, so that as you breathe in, your rib cage can expand front to back, side to side, and up and down, this full circumference, this full direction of movement. Inhaling to get big, then exhaling, grounding down, sinking that bowl. Working through our root lock, which is our place of grounding, of security, which is really important for right now for all of us. With your eyes closed, I'd like you to inhale and begin to lift the pelvic floor. It's the same muscles you would use to stop urinating. This sounds kind of funny, so maybe it's good we're not all in person to give side eyes because Erin would be giggling. But go ahead and lift the pelvic floor. And then exhale, soften and relax it. And just being at neutral, imagine that you're at lobby level. You're in an elevator, you're at the lobby, okay? Inhale, lift the pelvic floor, use your muscles, see if you can get up to the second floor, maybe the third floor. Exhale, slowly release down, second floor, lobby, maybe even down to the basement. Can you relax that much? Doing this on your own, inhaling, bringing the pelvic floor up, the belly button in, bringing in that Uddiyana Bandha as well. Exhaling to release down. Continuing this on your own, imagining the elevator lifting up, noticing what kind of level, what floor you can ascend to, and then where you can descend. Maybe it's hard to get to the lobby. When we're really stressed, we actually can kind of clench those muscles. A lot of times we think about, oh, we need to engage the pelvic floor muscles in yoga. It's possible to do it too much to where we can't relax them. And that can cause a lot of extra stress in the body, stress that we aren't even aware of on a mental level. So doing this exercise is really great for soothing our sense of security of self, that root chakra. This may be challenging, or maybe not. It may feel silly. Again, you're in the space of your own home. We do weird stuff in yoga. Embrace it. And then just one more time, okay? Letting this be the highest ascent yet. And maybe the lowest descent. Is there something below the garage floor, the bottom floor? Can you get down to the core of the earth? And then find yourself at neutral. Blink the eyes open. And then just begin welcoming in some movement. Maybe rib cage from side to side. shoulder and roll it back. Doing this, going back and forth. You might want to rotate the shoulder forward, but I wouldn't really recommend it. You know, we're trying to open through the heart, so I would keep opening and rolling back, okay? Again, side bending. Twisting may feel real nice, especially if you did that hot flow class and your low back is talking to you right now. Coming back through center, being very gentle, very mindful here. Good. Our first pose we're going to start with is our butterfly pose. So a very gentle way to get into the hips. Elevate the hips if you need to. If you've done yin yoga before with me, you already know who you are that will need to do that. You can roll up a blanket. You can sit on towels, sit on a pillow, whatever you need to do. And then bring the soles of the feet together. And we're going to do this two ways. Okay, I'm going to let you know when it's time to switch. I would like us to find our traditional butterfly with heels as close to the pelvis as is comfortable. If when you bring the heels close, you round your back, don't bring them that close, okay? You want to be able to start with a neutral spine, the natural curves of the spine. And then from there, and you can pad under the knees if you need a little extra support here. Very common, very helpful. And then from there, we can begin to either fold forward, earth element, rounding and soft, or find a metal element, squeezing the core, lifting up through the spinal muscles. You can hold on to the ankles if you like, which also invites in a little wood element, that kind of like you're holding a piece of a branch and you're bending it. It doesn't snap, but there's a little bit of bend there. That's what that pull is. We're not snapping our bodies. We're just getting a little bit of pull, but we're straightening up through the center, the steel sword of our torso. And then from here, you can fold forward. If you have props, you can fold forward onto your props. You can rest the head. Whatever is comfortable for you. I would say the only recommendation I have, because this is yin yoga and we're not looking to go as deep as we possibly can into the stretch, don't just go wild and push the knees down and try and get maximum range of motion here. Your body knows exactly how deep it should go in this pose. And just by leaning forward and by softening the hips, by using the mind to soften the hips, you're going to get exactly where you need to be. So honor that edge that your body tells you, this is it. This is the caution light. This is where I feel sensation. And then stay there. And once you get there, allow the eyes to close. And from here, you can scan through the body, noticing what sensations you feel where. The obvious places, the hips, the back, the glutes. What about the not so obvious places? What about the toes? What about the tops of the hands? Can you feel the air touching the skin? Can you soften corners of the mouth and the eyes? Bringing full body awareness. Now, if you happen to look up at the screen, just know that I am not holding this pose, but you still are. It's just like a regular class. I'm still going to be doing some readings. Still going to be talking to you, leading some meditations. So I will let you know when it's time to exit the pose. That being said, if at any time you need to move or adjust or change positions, you're not stuck where you've landed, okay? Take care of yourself. Do what you need to do. And again, using that labeling technique. Any thoughts that come into the mind, anything that comes into your awareness, notice what time frame it's from. Is it something that happened already? Are you reflecting back? Are you dwelling on something from the past? Is it something from the future? Are you making plans? stressing about something that hasn't even happened, that might not? Or are you in the present moment? Are you able to focus on what's happening right now? The easiest way to do that is to go to your five senses. Notice what you hear, what you see behind closed eyelids. What kind of shapes and colors are lurking behind? What's in your third eye? What do you see in your mind? And then continuing with the rest of the senses, taste and smell. And then I'd like you to consider what your natural state of being is. And that can be lately, or maybe how you perceive yourself in general. In yoga, we say that the natural state of being is joy. We're meant to be happy. We're meant to be satisfied, to be loved, and to be love. But things come up. There's obstacles. There's sometimes ourselves. Sometimes we are our own obstacles. Sometimes it's external things, like social distancing, like illness. But it's always important to try and find ways to come back to our true nature. True nature being joy, being the awareness, having the ability to be aware, to know what's coming in and out of our minds, to assess our feelings without judgment or attachment, just to welcome the present moment. Yoga Sutra 223 says, developing a higher awareness of self is the key to experiencing our true nature. Friends, that's what we're doing right now. We are developing a higher awareness of self. That's really going to help us experience our true nature, experience our true innate joy. So be proud of yourself. You're doing the work. This is it. This is the work. At this time, I'd like you to begin to come up, rolling up the spine slowly. And we're going to bring our heels away from our pelvises. We're going to find more of a diamond shape. You may need more support. I'm sorry, I'm clearing my throat. I have allergies. You may need more support under the knees. If when you lean forward, you feel a lot of discomfort around the outsides of the knees, bring the heels in just a bit, okay? And then lift the knees up. Bring some support beneath the thighs, the knees, and the calves. We are finding that diamond shape, and we're going to do the same forward fold. If you are a flopper, Erin, I'm looking at you. If Diane is in class, so I'm not sure if she is. The people who can just melt their heart, their belly flat to the ground, find Karmasana, arms through. I want you guys to find a different type of posture. Okay, I want you to find a little more effort of the muscles. You're still getting a stretch, but you're going to use metal element. So for that, grabbing the ankles, pulling the heart forward, lifting the tailbone up behind you, and then pull the belly to the front of the spine. Collarbones pull apart, and then just like a tree falling in the forest timber, you're going to begin to lean the heart forward. Okay, everyone else who's not a flopper, who can just get flat to the ground, I want you to get comfortable in this pose. Okay, you're going to be working, not working, but you're going to be stretching maybe more through the outer hips, through the low back, through the glutes. It's a lot. So grab your support, bring it in front of you. Then allow yourself to round forward. You can tuck the chin, let the crown of the head fall. You might feel a nice stretch in the back of the neck. If you're finding it hard to be completely still because we've been sitting for a while, you can invite in some movement. Maybe an air-like quality of ether, wind blowing branches in a tree. Remember, you're rooted. You're rooted down to the ground so the branches can move. Or maybe water. Letting Sensations of peace and ease wash over you, flow over you and through you. Listening to the soft music, or perhaps listening to your breath, imagining it to be the water. The breath like ocean waves, rolling in, rolling out. Perhaps having a visual of being near the beach. Just watching. You don't have to be toes in the sand. Maybe you're at your favorite cafe, drinking your favorite beverage, watching the waves roll in and out. The weather just happens to be your favorite kind of weather. Perfect temperature, comfortable clothing. What an ideal moment. Listening to the breath, the waves rolling in and out. Watching the ebb and flow of the water. Noticing how the body responds. How the nervous system responds. And let this beautiful moment that you're witnessing in your mind begin to take on physical sensation in your body. Can you feel happiness and gratitude? What a gift. Take a deep breath in. And then let it go. Maybe the air just escapes slowly. Maybe it bursts out of you, a deep sigh. And begin to come up. Let the soles of the feet come flat on the floor. Place the hands behind you and lean back into the shoulders, and then sway the knees from side to side. Let the eyes be open. Look around. Not judging anything that's around you, any mess. Don't make a to-do list right now. Just notice colors. Notice shapes. Get very elementary about this. Listing the colors and shapes that you see. Again, the sounds you hear. This is the most present you can be. From here, let's stretch the back of the hips, the back of the glutes, the low back. We're going to find caterpillar pose. So seated, forward fold, legs extended. Same thing as before. You can lift the hips up if you need to. You can support the knees by placing a towel or blanket beneath them. You're going to inhale. You're going to exhale to fold. If you have a bag of rice or anything like that, you're welcome to place it on the low back here. You're also welcome to place it on the ankles to help ground down the ankles so the knees can lift up a little easier. The spine can round, the chin can tuck. And notice where you feel sensation here. The obvious thing, the thing that we usually go straight to because we're conditioned to think of this as just a hamstring stretch, is the backs of the legs. But I want you to bend your knees and lean forward so that you can feel it up through the glutes and the low back as well. It's really important to also feel it there, not just the hamstrings. If we're putting so much attention on just the hamstrings and really forcing that stretch, that's when we can get some issues with the hamstring attachments. So it's important to find stretch through the whole posterior chain here. Really take care of the body. our practice should be able to be lifelong. You can pedal out. You don't have to be perfectly still. You can move a little. But I'd like to challenge you to move with your breath. So that means slow movements, fluid, rhythmic. Maybe you can even get a little artistic with it, as if it's a dance. Remember, nobody can see you, so maybe the arms move a little bit. Maybe you can feel the muscles of the back engage. This is your practice. Feel nourished by it. This is a shorter pose for us today, so only take a few more breaths here, but try and make them last. Really enjoying yourself, savoring the shape. Then begin to roll up. Stack the spine. Again, find some neutralizing movements. Counter pose. It can be the same thing as before. It can be something else. If you just have the desire, your body's asking for cats and cows, that means your body is in tune with what you need. So go ahead and do that. And that actually gives you time as well. We are going to be working with a strap today. If you don't have a yoga strap, I promise you have something else in your house that will work, and you have time to go grab it right now. You can grab a belt, you can grab a tie from a robe, you can grab a long sleeve sweater, you can grab literally anything that is long. I would not suggest using an animal, even though cats can stretch pretty long. If you grab their front feet and their back feet, don't do that. But besides that, most things are going to work for you. So when you are ready, sit well. That can be Sukhasana in a good way like this. You can sit in hero's pose, whatever works well for your body, okay? And we're going to just go through some shoulder movements, some range of motion, some stretching. So grab your strap, bring the hands wide, okay? There's going to come a point maybe where my hands are even out of frame, and that's just because I have these orangutan arms that can reach anything. Ignore that. So start here. Inhale up, and I want you to initiate the breath first. Feel the chest begin to lift before you feel the arms begin to lift. So inhale, and then the movement starts. Exhale, the chest begins to lower, the belly comes in, and then the arms begin to lower. Good. Maybe you come all the way down. Inhale. This time you're going to bring the hands back. You may need to go real wide on the strap to make this happen. Feel the shoulder blades come together behind you, a nice stretch in the front of the shoulders. Same thing. Inhale, feel that initiate. The movement comes up. You don't get to all the way to the top of the inhale until the arms are all the way up. Exhale, then they come down. Imagine that you're sort of flossing the shoulders, okay? Feel free to close your eyes. Nothing's going to change in the next few breaths. Just establishing where our beginning is. How wide do you need to be on your strap? And then while we are nice and wide here, let's take some side bends with this. So begin to arch. Keep the sit bones, both hips heavy, and just notice how it feels to bring one hand down towards the floor. Pull the belly in. And up. And other side. And up. Good. Now bring the hands down. We're going to come in on the strap a bit. Inhaling up. Bringing it back, a little more challenge. You might feel a sticky point, maybe about right there. Breathe through it. Soft elbows. Open heart. And up and down. Okay, on your own, keep coming in just a little bit at a time on the strap, adding a little more challenge for yourself. At some point, you're going to come so far in, you feel your body saying, no, no. You're going to stop there. I want you just to feel it, to kind of savor that boundary that your body's giving you. Boundaries can be the best gift that we give ourselves and others. Our body gives us boundaries as well for safety, because if you forced your way through it, you can get an injury. So just respect, honor this boundary, breathe into it, go wider, and then find that satisfaction that you went all the way through. Good. Taking a few more seconds, a few more minutes, as long as you need to make that happen. And then we're going to go through a couple other shoulder stretches. We're going to stretch through the tricep as well. If you were in the first class, we did this already, but it'll be really good for you to do it again after doing those wheels. Doing our cow face arms. I'm going to turn so that you cannot see my face, just so you can see what my arms are doing, okay? So grab the strap with the right hand, reach it up into the air. Bend at the elbow, turn the palm so you're giving yourself a pat on the back. You are doing great. Okay, left hand comes and it wraps the underarm and the tricep forward, and you can push the elbow up. So maybe the fingers can spider walk down the center of the spine a little bit. Notice if you've become real lordotic, natural curve of the spine. Lift up the heart. Left hand comes around. Fingers can wave at each other, but hey, you've got a strap, so you can grab onto your strap. And then maybe you begin to just walk the hands towards each other. Walk, walk, walk. Let it feel good. What I'm going to caution you on, because I do not want shoulder injuries and I can't see you, if to get this to happen, you're dropping your left shoulder forward, no, no. Instead, what I'm going to have you do is bring the elbow forward and the shoulder back. That might mean a lot less connection or more space between the hands. Keep that shoulder head rolled back. We're not anteriorly rotating it and then pulling, because that's how you get injury, okay? So we're here, we're here. If you'd like to fold forward and round, you can, and then lift up the heart. Some cat-cow action. We won't be here much longer. Softly release. Reach the right hand up. You can let go of the strap, move it around. Maybe be one of those air things in a car lot. Find some movement. And then we're going to do the other side, okay? Left hand reaches up. Bend at the elbow. Find some guidance, assistance from the right hand. Right hand comes around. Again, keep the shoulder head back, posteriorly rotated, not forward, okay? Back. And then bring the fingertips up. Just grab the strap. Neutralize the spine. Make sure you can move your head yes and no. Option to then begin flexing and extending the spine. Keeping the tricep wrapped forward of the left arm, okay? We're not allowing it to open up like this. We want it wrapped forward. Forward, forward, forward. Good. Couple more breaths. And then release. Good. Find some movement if you need movement. Do whatever you like. No one can see you. Okay, so we're going to do a side bend now. It's going to feel really good, I bet. And it's going to get to the shoulder as well. So for this one, we definitely need a proper two. We need to stack some stuff. I'm using a bolster because I am fortunate to have one already. What we're going to do is sit on the left hip, okay? If you have a block or something like a block, also have that handy. So we're sitting on the hips, and you don't need to worry about perfectly stacking the knees or anything like that. We really want the body to actually move and adjust as it needs to. If we start fixing one place and then moving other places in the back, that's where we can get some low back problems. So let things move how they need to move, okay? You're gonna find your natural waist. So find your floating rib even, your upper rib cage, or your lower rib cage, I mean, and then find the upper hip. And that space between, that soft space, is where we want to center over the prop that we're finding support from, okay? Make sure I'm still in the frame here. So find that support right there. And then you're gonna use your other prop or a pillow as a pillow for the head. Now, this left arm, I want you to keep the collarbone open. So that's gonna mean rotating the bicep up, palm up, okay? And then now this right arm, you have options. You can reach it up and over. Notice if there's any pinching at the top of the shoulder. If so, no, no. You can cactus the arm, again, opening through the front of the shoulder. But if you're just hanging out in space, if that's too much wood element for you, you can imagine that you're tucking your hand into either your front or back right side pocket, but keep pulling the outer edge of the right collarbone back. So you're getting a twist and a side bend that's supported in the shape. Option, if you have a rice bag, to place a rice bag right on the hip. You can also place a pillow between the knees here. That would feel really nice, I bet. And then let the eyes close. And as we spend time in this shape, I think it would be really awesome to do a gratitude meditation. So begin thinking about something that you're grateful for. And it can be the first thing that comes to mind, a person, a thing. It can even seem really shallow, maybe a cup of coffee. It does not matter. Just think of something that you're grateful for. And now think of something else. Letting this thing either be something you see in your mind, something you can hear, using some sort of a sense that you have to really bring in an emotional connection to what you're thinking about, to what you're grateful for. And now think of something else. And you're going to continue this. You're going to think of something that you're grateful for, and then something else. You're going to keep moving down the list. And it might get harder and harder to think of things, but that's where you get the good stuff. That's when you really realize how much you have to be grateful for. And then as you let each thought, each thing you're grateful for, leave the space of the mind, can you give it just a metaphorical bow, a thanks, an honoring, an acknowledgement? Yoga Sutra 233 says, negative thoughts subside by placing attention on positive thoughts. And again, friends, that's what we're doing. Planting seeds of gratitude to help grow these big trees of happiness that cover all the shade, the darkness that we see, that we feel. Perhaps those trees begin making their own shade, and that shade is positive. It's cooling and refreshing. What a gift. Take 3 more Samavriti breaths. So the inhale and the exhale being the same amount of time. Let there be a pause after the exhale to really savor the space. Fresh oxygen that you just had. And begin to come out of the pose. Exit the shape. I think you might find again, so we're on that left hip. It might feel good to widen the legs, find sort of those mermaid legs, and twist to the left, and then twist to the right. Fold forward. Finding different planes of movement, different movements of the spine. And then as you're ready, we're going to go straight into the other side. So bring your props to the other side of you. And you're going to sit on the right hip this time. Again, locate the natural waist, kind of feel around, find that soft spot. And then lay it right over the center of your prop. Look for your pillow, whatever it is. Find some comfort there. Notice what the legs need to do, keeping them somewhat stacked, but not perfectly stacked if they don't want to be. And then deciding what that left arm needs, what it wants. You can reach it up and over. You can cactus it. You can place the left hand on the left shoulder and help guide it open. Maybe help bring that shoulder blade down behind you. Or that same pocket routine. And your body's already felt the shape before, so it knows what it's doing. You can settle in, you can drop back into that restful state, maybe a little quicker this time. And I would like you to go right back into that gratitude meditation, thinking of new things. Each thing you bring up in your mind needs to be something different, okay? Filling our mind with the positive. Not negating the negative, not saying it's not happening, not giving it less value, but just acknowledging that there is a lot of positive that can come alongside. If you need to let go of that gratitude practice meditation, you can put that tool down. Meditation practices, the things we use to find meditation, are just tools to help get us to a state of deep peace, of deep presence. So if you've gotten there, you can set that tool aside. If the mind starts to feel busy or distracted again, pick it back up. Few more breaths. 3. And then begin to exit the pose, taking the counter movements, the counter stretches. Normal to feel some stickiness or soreness after holding a posture. It's your job just to listen to the innate wisdom of the body, what it's asking for. That's probably what it needs. Twisting, folding, opening, rolling through the shoulders. And now begin to think about how you'd like to spend your Shavasana. Again, look around, see what props you have. You can even move towards a wall and do legs up a wall, but get really comfortable. Some support beneath the back, under the knees, maybe something soft under the hands and the heels of the feet. You can also lay flat on your belly. You can take a supported child's pose and place that bag of rice on the low back. It can be very grounding. Take your time to adjust, to get situated. Not having any expectations of your Shavasana either. Sometimes we feel like, okay, this is it. This is where I'm going to find the deepest peace of my life. I'm going to relax so hard. Try and drop that. Let go of that. And just let it be physical rest. When the body gets to relax, the mind tends to follow. And when it doesn't, that's when we use those tools, the toolkit for meditation, okay? So you just continue to get comfortable. And as you are comfortable and you're settled in, allow the eyes to close. Again, welcoming any distractions that are around you. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If we waited for the perfect moment, the perfect situation to relax, it would never happen. So welcome everything that's going on. Welcome it in. And let it just be this blur, this swirling background to your Shavasana, okay? Allowing the eyes to close. The breath to deepen without effort. Instead, think of it as just relief. You know when you feel relief, like you've been stressing about something and then it all works out and you can just breathe that sigh of relief. Let that be your breath now. I've been reading from my A Year of Living Your Yoga by Judith Hanson Lasater, and today's date is the 19th, and I just think this is so perfect for us to consider as we go into our Shavasana. The question is, what is true for me right now? What a question. Can you think about that? What is true for you right now? There's no right or wrong answer. And that itself is a form of meditation because it's bringing you right to the present. And I'm going to encourage you to do this a few times today. Just whenever you can think of it, if you're walking around your house, if you're busy, just pause for a moment and think, what is true for me right now? And as you move into Shavasana, as you move into a state of peace and relaxation, can you find gratitude for what is true for you right now? If it feels like the obstacles are what's true, can you feel grateful for those obstacles? Those Ganesha-like representations. We can move past our obstacles. Sometimes we have to be resourceful like Ganesha was. But we have the ability. Just continue to follow your breath. Let your mind wander to daydream. This is your time for deep peace. Enjoy your Shavasana. Begin to feel the body moving as you breathe, keeping everything else still. Just feeling the movement, the torso, maybe even up through the shoulders. Are there tiny movements of the arms even as you breathe? Notice. Enjoy the stillness. What is true for me right now? Can I be thankful for it? What is an obstacle I have faced recently or am currently facing? Can I feel grateful for it? Now begin welcoming a little bit of gentle movement back to the body. Maybe the tapping of fingers on the ground. Maybe you bring the thumb to each individual fingertip one by one. Toes wiggling. If you feel real sleepy and you need to wake up, Start flicking water off the fingertips. Let the movements get gradually bigger. The ankles and the wrists, the face, the mouth, the jaw. Maybe a yawn. Open up that throat chakra. Ah. Then begin to take up more space. Get a big stretch. Reaching the arms overhead. Stretching through the legs. You can even take your arms and legs wide off the mat like a starfish. And now with all that space we just made, find some compression. Hug the knees into the chest. Tuck the chin. Lift the shoulders off the floor. You can stay perfectly still there, or you can rock and roll around. But notice what muscles you're using. The obvious, and then the not so obvious. And then find gratitude for your muscles, for your body. And then work your way towards a seated position. Transitioning any way you need to. You can go through side laying, you can rock and roll up, doesn't matter. And then sit well, sit comfortably. Let's take a few breaths together. As community, as friends. Bring hands to heart center. And then let's find that lotus seed mudra. So it looks about the same, but creates space between the palms. Planting gratitude in our heart for it to bloom, to blossom, to open up like a lotus flower in the sunlight. Deep inhale, maybe inhaling to reach up into the sun and open the lotus flower. Exhale, close the seed, bring it to the heart. What are you grateful for? Inhale, open and blossom. Exhale, bring it in. And then pause here. You can keep your hands the way they are or press the palms together. And then just bow the head, smile. Om Nam Ganapataye Namaha. What that is it's us acknowledging our obstacles and the remover of obstacles. Helps us bring in gratitude for our victories, for our success, creativity to solve our problems. So again, remember, some point today, stop yourself and ask, what is true for me right now? If it's an obstacle, get creative, overcome, be grateful for it. I'm grateful for you, for practicing with me. I hope to see you very soon. Namaste.